Hello, good evening, welcome. As ever, it's Thursday, so I'm here. I would say with the gang, but at the moment it's just me. You never know. Someone may turn up later on, they may not. If they don't, then as ever, I'll throw open the doors to everybody. But we'll see what happens and how everything goes. I'm just checking through my messages and posts and things that I've put up to make sure everything's working as it should. I don't know, I can't remember which buttons I've pressed, so I'll press a few buttons in a minute and we'll see how it goes. Pascal obviously was the first one in, saying good evening, as he does. And then, as has become the norm, Quano Man's come along and been chatting with Pascal for a little while. I obviously am around as well. Then we had Eric says, evening all, hope everyone's having a good week. A great week, even. We'll try and sneak in every once in a while. He's at work. The buses and limos don't wash themselves, you know, he says. So, oh, of course, we have here. Good evening. Also, Cynical Steve. Everyone's saying hello to everyone else. AJ's here. Good evening. World of Mike. Mike's in. Hi, Mike. Thanks for joining us. Jamie is here. Ross is here. We got me. I'm still there. Sprue and Glue's come in. Hi all. Mickle Pickle. Me. Everyone else. So Phil, Andrew, Swigging Pig. Good evening. And Edward's here. Hello. Cynical Steve says, not an issue. I'm just curious, how come some patrons keep their chat names and others have their actual names? Oops, caps. It's purely a personal thing. Whichever you would prefer, let me know. Well, I've got you down as Steve, haven't I? If you would like to be Cynical Steve, or if you've got a Facebook page, website, YouTube, whatever, anything else, all of my patrons have the option to have which basically whatever they like displayed in both my credits and my occasional postings onto the channel. So if you'd like something different, give me a shout. Let me know. I'll change it. Let me know now if you like, but I can't change it now, and I'll probably forget. Your best bet is to give me a shout through Patreon. There's messagey things in there. If you don't know about Patreon, it is there. You can join up and say help support the channel and help me pay for the website and the hosting software and stuff like that by going there. Look, patreon.com/grossmodels. Any amount you care to donate is gratefully appreciated, and any amount you care to donate gets you onto the list, so you'll be personally thanked. That's that. Steve's here at Totally Scale Models. Good evening. Chronoman's a number 2. I'm not entirely certain what, or is that because you're second in the chat? Yeah, probably about right. Yeah. Steve's perfectly happy to be immortalised as myself. Chris. Not Chris. No, you're not Chris. That's me. But yeah, I know what you mean. As ever, if you want to change it, anyone can change it at any time. I try and keep my Patreon page. Obviously, when you sign up and join in as patron, you can put in whichever name you like. But I try to keep a list of what your actual name is or what your YouTube name is down the side, so I know who's what. Because if someone pops in, then I don't know, I've got patrons that sign up using a name that I don't know about because they normally interact using YouTube names. So, yeah, if you want something different, it's not a problem. Just give me a shout and let me know. Chronoman likes the name Overlord of the Universe, and a bit cheeky. Yeah, Lovable Rascal Chat. Yeah, but that's a bit long to put into the chat every time, so... So, it's Thursday. Good evening. How is everybody? Have you all been doing well? It's been a bit of a strange week around here. I intended to get more of the Baneblade done, but didn't. I did have, you might see bits of Terminator behind me as well there. Look, I can't move out the way far enough to show him off. There he is, looking at you from that way. I had another week when all the part works turned up at once, so like 4 issues of Terminator and 5 issues of X-Wing, all just sort of turned up within a couple of days. So I had a little bit of, not panic, but I was busy getting those all sorted out and videoed and ready to go. And indeed, throughout the week, they have been releasing. I've set them all to release one every morning. So I think 9 o'clock every morning. 9 o'clock UK time, obviously, because that's where I am. That's the time zone I use. They've been going off. I think there's still like 3 of them to go. I think Sunday morning, the last of this batch go live. So I'm hoping on Sunday, indeed, to spend some of the day doing some more of the Baneblade. As you can see, it's all bright orange over there. It needs to be masked up for the bits that are staying orange and then sprayed in red. So I'm hoping that I can get some of that done. Maybe not all of it, but certainly some of the masking being done throughout the day on Sunday. So Steve had to restart his phone, restart the PC, so he's on his phone now. You're having trouble with that PC, aren't you, Steve? I don't know. I can't. I'm not an expert with PC stuff. I'm not an expert with anything, but yeah, that's not doing you any favours, is it? Steve's just used to being addressed as Oi, seeing my name's a novelty. I can change it to Oi if you like, it will make you feel better. Mickle Pickle says the Terminator is getting big. It is indeed. That's 50 episodes, 50 issues. And we've got, most of the torso, some of the pelvis. I'm going to go the wrong way, that way, there. A whole arm. And most of the head, except for the back of the skull. There's still a big gap. I can't pick him up because it's heavy. But yes. So yeah, that's it's getting there. It's not halfway though, because there's 120 episodes in that. Issues, episodes, issues is the word I'm looking for. So yeah, it feels like it should be halfway, but it isn't yet. So yeah, when the 60th comes out in a couple of months, I'll do a recap and a sort of a quick look at everything sort of video. But it's getting too big to put away and move around and put in different places, and the X-Wing's going to be getting there as well. So it's all getting a little bit. I've got the other bench down here that. This is the one that I normally film stuff on, as you can probably tell by the backgrounds of it and stuff. The other bench down here is where I do the Warhamster Sunday on. And that has got the Citadel paints at the back. So I'm thinking I might be able to move those off, or at least temporarily off, give me a bigger working area for things like the Terminator. But then I've got to play around with getting the camera moved over and everything else. So it's all a bit, you know. Cynical Steve does say it should be 3'1", as Arnie is 6'2". Yeah, I haven't worked out exactly, but it is meant to be half scale, so it's going to be about there. It's interesting that it's half scale because the R2, the D'Agostini R2, is half scale as well. And obviously, I picked up the 3PO that I'm looking at, but you can't see, which is not an actual scale, but is about the half scale. So we'll see how he stands up next to them, and we'll see how it looks. Steve saying it's his old laptop. No. Done better than me, resisting the temptations, making giggle at Widge jokes as you play with the T800's pelvic parts. Yes, it's I don't have that problem. You know, I'm happy to interfere with his pelvis, and it just works, you know, it goes together. When he's got legs on it, it'll be a bit different. But so that's that. Let's just check messages and stuff and see. Yeah, nobody's saying that they're going to come along and join, so they might not be. Where are we? 10 minutes past. I'll have a look through the Gross group momentarily. So if you haven't joined that yet, I've got a button for that somewhere, haven't I? There you go. You can join the Gross group, which is my Facebook group that's open to everybody. If you're a member of the Model Makers Boom Hut, then you'll be able to get in there straight away. If you're not, then I'm just looking for the thing. I've got there we go. Put the banner up there so you can see it. If you're in the Model Makers Boom Hut, you can join automatically. If you're not, then it will ask you a couple of sort of security questions just to make sure you're a real person and are actually intended to join the group rather than just clicking through it and not really doing anything. As I've had a couple of like sort of bot sort of things, people trying to join that have joined Facebook 3 days ago and are a member of 700 different groups. It's obviously not a real person, and they don't answer the questions. So yeah, come along, join in. If you post up pictures, then I shall show them. On a Thursday, I go through and basically put up pictures that have been posted to the group. Try and keep them clean. But, you know, it's normally sort of work in progress or what you've finished or something you're particularly proud of, that sort of thing. and we'll go through it and have a look. I probably won't know what it is or anything about it, so hopefully somebody will join me in the chat to talk you through it and let you know what's what. 'Cause for some reason, sometimes the title of the picture, the comment thing you put in with it, doesn't always come up, so I can't always be sure, what it is I'm looking at, or if it's Warhammer thing. I know nothing about it, and I've been building Warhammer now for like a year. I still know nothing about it. I don't learn stuff easily, so that's there. While I'm on this page, I shall open up. That's where the Patreon link is. If you want to come along and join that, and join my, I think I've got 17 patrons at time of writing. So, if you'd like to make it 18, then come along and join in. I also have a range of branded. I'm not wearing any today. It's very strange. I got my Star Wars sweater on. I have branded merchandise, which if you buy through, say, the Gross Merch site, I get a little bit of spending money every time someone buys a t-shirt, sort of thing. There is the website, Gross Models UK. It's Gross Models everything. I'm planning on global domination. I think by 2037, that's when I'll be ruling everything and in charge of everything. So yeah, it's getting there slowly, catchy internet and stuff. So yeah, if you do want to contact me, and as I say, there's many options of doing it. I'm on Facebook and the YouTube comments and things like that, or you can just get me on that down there, chris@grossmodels.uk. I've got the website, so I might as well get the email address as well. So you can always give me a shout on there if you want to suggest something that I should build, or something that I could feature on the stream, the show. Show always sounds a little bit sort of presumptuous, that it's something official. It's not. It's just me chatting and things. But yeah, if you've got suggestions for something to do there, like the the looking at the users' pictures, give me a shout. Let me know. I might use it. You never know. What else have I got down there? I have the time and telly. That's always a good one to get people talking. What time zone is it that you're in? What is the current time where you are, and what have you been watching on telly? It doesn't actually have to be telly. I just use that as a, if you're watching something on YouTube or Netflix or whatever like that, whatever you're binge watching at the moment. What is it? Should we all be watching it? Is it worth watching? Anything any good? Personally, it is 12 minutes past 8 in the evening time here, because you can tell, because that's the window outside. That's dark out there, so it must be night time. And what have I been watching? I've been catching up on other things. I finished the NCIS I was watching. I finished that. Then I watched the latest last season of the Blacklist, which is quite good fun. I've watched something else that I can't quite remember. And at the moment, I'm doing the Legends of Tomorrow. I want to say the DC Arrowverse thing, the Legends one, that I haven't caught up on from last year yet. So I'm working my way through those at the moment. But let me know what you're watching and what if it's worth watching. I might add it to the list of stuff to do. Let's have a look. We have Fuzzy Warrior is here. Evening all. Chris, have you any idea where you're going to display the T800 once fully completed? I don't do display as such. R2's over there. The Falcon is over there behind him a little bit. It will just go sort of next to R2 and be out of the way. It's sort of a shame, but once it's built, I sort of lose interest. It's nice to look at and have it sitting there, but I've not got a display area or big cabinet that will sit in or anything else. It will just sort of sit on there. It depends mainly on the base. Now, as I understand it, the Terminator has to be supported. He won't stand up on his own. He does need a support, which is built into the base, which is part of the build, probably the last 10 issues or whatever, or 20 issues, which is like a display base that I think has got some sort of bars that come up the back and sort of support him under the shoulders, as I imagine him sort of being held up like that. So it depends on the size and shape of that as to where it's going to fit and how it's going to work together. But yeah, it will just go in a corner somewhere, and I won't worry about it anymore. Spur and Glue says, don't forget to like and share. Oh, sharing's always good. It's always nice to have more people coming along and watching. And click the little like button on the video on YouTube. Apparently it helps with people finding the videos and things, but yeah. Steve says, I would join, but I'm in the front room. Can't go down to the shed as I have to keep my foot out. Oh, yeah, I forgot you've got a poorly foot again, Steve. Hope it's getting better for you. But yeah, it's not a problem. Say, join, don't join. Anyone. It's all good. Lance is making dinner, so we'll dip in and out and see what you're on about. You won't be missing very much, but what are you making for dinner? You can't just leave a comment like making dinner and just leave it at that. We need to know more about the dinner. So, yeah, let us know. Andrew Preston says, liked and shared. Thank you very much. I need you to show me how to set my tiers. Is this a Patreon question? Absolutely, yeah. Give me a shout while I'm not being pretty on the telly, and I'll help you out with it. No problem at all. We'll figure it out. Don't look, says Steve, but there's a massive orangey tank behind you. There is a fairly large and fairly orange tank behind me. It's in progress. It'll be less orange next week, I hope. Mike is in the UK and it's 2012. So yeah, that was a few minutes ago, but yeah, what are you watching on telly? Lance is watching a repeat of Would I Lie to You? Was watching gaming on Twitch earlier. Better Call Saul is back next week. Better Call Saul is not one that I got into. I did enjoy Breaking Bad, and I watched the first season of Saul and then sort of didn't bother. But yeah, I probably should go back and get into it again, but yeah. 2012 says Steve, and Snordale, save me please. I don't know what Snordale is. Is that Emmerdale? Is it one of the soapy things? Because you're stuck in one front room that you can't get out. Have you not got control of the remote? You should have your own remote to change the channels and things. Steve says 2012. Lock and Key on Netflix, only on episode 3. Not sure if it's a keeper yet. Lock and Key, I had or have the audiobook version of that, which I think is like a cast recording. It's been a few years since I listened to it. I don't think I ever actually finished it. I don't think I got to the end of it. It was interesting but very strange. Yeah, I might well watch some of that when I'm finished with the Legends thing and see what it's like. But I sort of probably know most of the story, so it won't exactly be new to me, but yeah. Although that's not strange. Game of Thrones, when that came out, I didn't realise that I'd already read the books, or 2 of the books, or 3 of the books, or whatever, when it started coming out. But I watched the first episode, and it's like, I vaguely know what's going on here. And then things happen, and it's like, I knew that was going to happen, but it was a couple of years since I read the books, and they had different titles to the series. I didn't realise that I'd already read it, but it was like, that's really strange. I know what's going to happen next. And it did. And it was really, very, very strange. So it might be a similar sort of thing with that. So I might have a vague memory of how things go, but it's probably changed around a bit for the TV anyway. Phil Lewis, at the same time as me, been introducing my youngest to the joys of Star Trek, the original series. I'm not sure. I like Trek. But if they don't know Trek, then I don't know that starting on the original series is necessarily the best way to go. It's sort of an acquired taste, isn't it? I mean, back then when we were watching it, it was great, but there's better now in various different TV genres and stuff. I don't know. It might put him off watching the original one. Would start with Voyager or DS9 or something, or even Next Gen, and then go back and watch some of the history bits, or maybe start with Enterprise. That's sort of at the beginning. Although Enterprise is still the first one, isn't it? Discovery is sort of after that, because they're all around. So Enterprise is sort of new enough that the storytelling is still good, but old enough that it fits. Maybe start with that. I don't know. The new CW shows haven't been shown yet, so you still have time to catch up. Yes, it's not an Arrow that started though, haven't they? Because it's the last season of Arrow, isn't it? I've seen all of those from last year. For some reason, Legends was the last one that I got round to. It is sort of the least fun of the 4 of them. I do prefer the other three, the Flash, Arrow, and the other one, Supergirl. Um, and I'm not seeing any of the new Batgirl, Batwoman. I don't remember what it's called. Female Bat person. Um, I'm sure I will get into and watch, but yeah, I'm not sure about that one yet. Edward says 3:13 p.m. Watch the last season of Criminal Minds. That's not one that I've seen anything of, but is it worth watching? I assume you've been watching it, so you would say that, wouldn't you? Chrono Man is past 11:03 and been watching Cloak and Dagger on Amazon. Again, I think I watched the first couple of episodes of that and couldn't really get into it. It all seems just a little bit different to the normal Marvel stuff, so yeah. Speed's here. Well, he's not here yet, but he might be. You never know. I thought you were a day early. Then I realised I lost one somewhere. Has anyone seen my Wednesday? No, I haven't got it. My Wednesday was yesterday, and that went quite quickly. So I could do with another one. If you've got a Wednesday going spare, I'd gladly take another one off anyone's hands. Not a very intimidating Terminator if he can't stand up on his own. This is true, but even though a lot of it's plastic, and a lot of people have been complaining that, oh look, it's another plastic bit, and this bit should be metal, it's plastic. It's very, very heavy. Oh, it's not impossible to pick up heavy, but I can't see normal legs, even if the legs were entirely metal, which I very much doubt, being able to support him. So yeah, they obviously thought it through and figured to make it. If they made it all metal, then it would be far too heavy for the legs to support. If they made the top half plastic, then it wouldn't really work the same. So they've done a quite clever mixing of metal and plastic to make it look good and feel good and not, make a hole in the floor when it falls over. So yeah, it's okay. Mickle Pickle in the US at 2:14. Been waiting for Altered Carbon. I think I watched the first couple of episodes of that as well, the first season of that, and couldn't really get into it. There's a lot of TV that I sort of start with, and because there's so many shows and channels and things out there now, it's harder for me to put in the effort to. I'm not really enjoying this. Should I stick it out and go through and watch the rest of it? Or I'm not really enjoying this. I'll try something else. I might enjoy that more or less, but there's always something else to try if you're not really getting into something. That was the same with Witcher. I watched the first episode and it didn't get me. It didn't grab me. But so many people were saying, oh, it's great, you have to stick with it. But I did went back and, yeah, binge watched it over the course of 2 or 3 days and did enjoy it. But nobody's really got me to go back to any of the other things at the moment. Lance has come back with his dinner request. Burger and chips, exciting stuff. Burger is probably my favourite food group. And chips are obviously the perfect accompaniment to everything. So, yes, burgers are always the go-to answer. It's just ideal. It's meat, and you can pick it up and just put it in your face hole. It's just lovely. Nothing wrong with burgers. Man's asking if Speed checked all his pockets, which he apparently did. Mike is watching EastEnders and me at the moment. Is that watching EastEnders deliberately, or is someone forcing you into it? Just if you're being forced into it, just cough twice, and we'll send people around to help you out. Jamie, same time zone as me, playing Call of Duty on the Xbox One. Again, Call of Duty, I liked the first one, and the second one was alright, and then it just seemed to be the same thing again. I know it's not, but it just didn't do anything for me, so I didn't bother with it. And I haven't looked back. Steve can change the channel from his phone if he really needs to. That's always good. He's saying the original series is the best. Yeah, but is it? If you go back and watch it again, is it? Is it really? It sort of feels like it should be, but it really isn't. But Phil says it's the one series he hasn't really seen. That's fair enough then. Yes, it's definitely worth watching, but. Yeah, I don't know that it should be the first thing that you watch, because that might put him off. He's in the kitchen descaling, not decaling. Citric acid solution everywhere, and it stings like buggery, and any cuts in your hand. Don't cut your hands then. That's the easy option. But yeah. Yeah, don't get scales on stuff either. That's always bad for you. Uh, what we got there? Someone said something. Ah, right, there we go. Phil said, youngest is also a relative term. He's 26. Yeah, I know that feeling. My youngest is 19. So, yeah, it's... and Lance says, I'm a bit late for it. It's 2020 on 2020. So, yeah, hurry for numbers. But shame about February getting the numbers the wrong way around. But, yeah. None of the new seasons have been shown. And Batwoman's on a different channel. So God knows if the Crisis thing will line up. Yeah, because it's Crisis on Infinite Earths, isn't it? I'm not shown any of them yet, because I almost finished, I thought, or something. Because I keep seeing it on the internet, things about Crisis and everything. And yeah, so that's interesting. Is Batwoman on the same... Is she part of the Crisis thing? Or is it just the three of them again? Because it wasn't Legends last time. But I don't know. Yes, it's good. Lasted 15 seasons. Was that the Criminal Minds thing? I can't remember. I know someone said something about that. Was that you? Apologies. Ross watched NCIS Los Angeles. Yeah, that's the second one, isn't it? The first one was Vegas. No, Vegas is the other one, the CSI. NCIS. The first one was the first one, which is yeah. Los Angeles was the second one where it was all sunny, and then they did a third one in New Orleans, didn't they? So, yeah, I watched all of NCIS. Los Angeles, I've watched the first few, but we'll go back and watch them from the beginning again at some point. George is around. Hi, Chris. Hi, George. Apologies, I haven't been able to join. I have meetings now at 1:30. Well, that's all right. It's 8:30. You'll be fine. I know it's middle of the daytime for you there, so no problems at all. If you get the chance, come in, but don't lose your job over it because it's really not worth it. I'm not worth that for anybody. Phil Lewis says, the SPID I experienced last Wednesday, you're not missing much. I like Wednesdays. It's good. Mike is wearing his headphones. The other family member has it on. I don't like EastEnders much. Fair enough, yeah. Again, EastEnders, the family, my mum used to watch. And then I moved out and the wife doesn't... yeah, she watches EastEnders occasionally. But I don't bother with it. I don't watch any of those things. Steve has just finished watching the second series of The Heist. I don't know that one either, but well done. Is that worth watching? Worth finding the first season? Chronoman says the DeLorean is the same weight as the T800, and it's going to get way more heavy as it gets metal frame and metal body panels. Yes, the DeLorean's a huge one, isn't it? It's like 1/6 or something. I'm thinking it's quite a big car. Is anyone else wondering when and why Speed grew scales? Oh, right, because he's descaling. I got you. Ha. Yes, Criminal Minds. I thought it was you, but I didn't remember. Right, there we go. That's through all of those. Yes, let's have a look at the group. I shall share my screen. I have somewhere around here the gross group ready to share. So let me pop that over there. I shall leave that there. I'll be the little person in the corner over here quietly while we have a look and see what we've got. My brother's watching it in the wrong place. He always watches on Facebook, not... Well, if he ever watches, it's always Facebook, not really YouTube. Says Mum had EastEnders on video. She's probably about 10 years behind. Yeah, she used to record them and have them piles and piles of videotapes. But we couldn't tell her to, look, just forget about them. Watch it now. It'll take you a couple of months to get back into who's what and what's been going on. But then you can actually watch it live instead of watching it several years behind, working your way through a tape and then putting that to record the next one. And it was literally piles and piles of videotapes from back when videotapes were a thing. If you're young, you don't know what videotapes are, then sorry, but yeah. Right, this is from Ross. It's the shouty Space Horse that he's been painting up. Steve says, I've been watching... Cynical Steve, this is not my brother Steve. I've been watching the new Dark Crystal, but it hasn't grabbed me like the film did. Yeah, I watched an episode of that, and it didn't grab me, so I didn't bother with it. But this is Ross's Shout His Face horse that we showed last week, I think, with some of the bits in primer. There you go. Steve says he wasn't doing presents for Valentine's Day this year, but her indoors still got him this. It's building toy Lego Technic buggy. Cool, nice little 2-in-1. What's the other thing? What else can it do? We need to know. Valentine's Day present was very quick and simple build. That's the one that's on the box. So what's the other thing? You said 2-in-1. That's one of one. What's the second one? You need to let us know what the other one is, Steve. Unless there's another picture coming up that's going to tell me what it is. But yeah, bit more progress on Lord Celestin's Dracoth. I don't know what it is. It's the Shout His Face horse. I got that bit, but it means nothing. Glenn was doing a new paint scheme based on this for something. I can't remember what it was. But yeah, obviously this is shades of grey. There we have and Space Shuttle, the Revel Space Shuttle in 144. Painted the grey on the wings and the cargo bay interior, Citadel Chaos Black primer. I did notice when you were doing this, you bravely primed it all in black and then managed to get the white over the top of the black quite well. I don't know how you managed that, because white is never fun to go over black. My brother says the new season of Better Call Saul is on soon. Yeah, someone said that ages ago. If you like Breaking Bad, you'll love it. I did watch the first season of Saul, and I did enjoy Breaking Bad. In fact, I'm the one that told you to watch Breaking Bad many, many years ago, and you said, no, don't really do that. And then finally got around to watching it. So, yeah, I will at some point catch up with it, but yeah. Roger has been painting his, I think, are they night haunts? They're different to the other night haunts that I'm familiar with. They don't normally have short swords and things, but definitely ghosty things, which are looking particularly wraith-like. They look like Skeksis from the Dark Crystal, so maybe they're ghost Skeksis. Definitely getting a Skeksy vibe from them, yeah. I can't do a Skeksy impression, I'm not even going to try. So yeah, but definitely cool. I like the metallicness of the rusty blades as well, they look good. I don't listen to you, but my wife told me to watch it, says Steve, my brother. Sounds about right, yes. Right, there we go. This is Paul Tomasso's 10-year-old with his first Gundam. One of the SD Gundams. Very cool. Nice. I assume he enjoyed it. It doesn't look terribly happy, but I'm sure he enjoyed building it. Phil Lewis doing the top conical dome, showing how it came before cutting it out. Oh, right, it's just like a big plastic bubble thing. AJ says Star Trek Discovery is awesome on Netflix. Really enjoying it. Again, I watched the first season and watched the first bit of the second season and then just sort of got drifted away. But again, I will go back and catch up with it. Phil says you can make out the razor saw scratches at the 5 o'clock position. A piece of white vinyl tape on the right is pointing down at it. So there... oh, is that over here? Yes. Definitely something there. Not ideal. So, yep. Phil's been resin vein end plates. Easy to clean up. Nice. Resin doesn't worry me as much as it used to. Now I've built the weird knob, but yeah, I'd still prefer plastic, I think. The dome cleaned up nicely. It does. Look at all the mess over here, though. Look. You can see how much it cleaned up by how much mess you got left over. After rough cutting out so I could get to the edge with the pea cutter. What's a pea cutter? I don't know. Separate 8 of the 16 veins from their casting blocks half an hour before the start of last night's e-model show. At the end of it, explains why I wasn't so active in chat. Yeah, it's always good to have something to do while anybody's talking on the internet, because it's boring just to watch us. Nice to have something to do while you're listening. David Powell made a little tool this week. Oh, it's a static grass applicator, little electric shock thing. Cool. Have you used it yet? Did it work? Ross has put together the Shouty Space Horse. I like the. You're always good at the really sort of detailed painting of the bits. Really nice. I like all that. Cool. Off to ride into battle. Ray, a mostly yellow car. I'm not sure. Is that sort of halfway through painting it, or is it meant to look like that? Or it's an interesting effect. I don't know if that's. I think it was halfway through priming, maybe, judging by the looks of how it looks now. But I liked that first. It's almost like a sort of faded, some very bright yellows and fading away to the grey. I like it. It looks nice. Obviously not the intended final effect. Back to Phil. Surfaces sanded and pits in edges filled. I don't remember. It's obviously some UFO type thing, but I don't remember seeing the box art or anything of it. We need to leave Mr. Dissolved Putty to harden before sanding. Alright, been filling in gaps and things. Cool. Result of my efforts to remove poor ring from base of middle body. Did it not work properly? So I see it's got rough edges there, but again, not knowing exactly what it's meant to look like, it's difficult to tell. See, it's nice and flat. Okay, so there was something underneath it you had to remove. Oh yeah, that doesn't look ideal. Nicer. Yep, nibbled away with cutters. Sometimes you just got to do that. Oh, that looks a lot better. Scrape clean with a number 11 scalpel. Cool. Right, this is Glenn with his Nintendo-esque Gundam. Nice. I'm not sure what that bit is, though. Is that some sort of backpack or something? Or... don't know. Scenery? Oh, it might be scenery. Work in progress on the Sazabi, says Pascal. Just finished the wooden frame. Nice. Has he got an arm missing, or is he just holding it up? I can't tell. So either way, it's looking good. That would be interesting once you get, floor and paint on it to bring it all together. Steve has been doing, I think, PE on something. He did say what it was, but I can't remember. I'll have a look. I can't recognise any particular bits from that. No, definitely some sort of engine thrusters wing type. What's that? It thinks that's a person. That's interesting. I guess it's one of them. Is it a F-14? I'm not sure. I don't do identifying things. But looking good. Obviously, little bits of tape holding bits together. Ross, let's just have a look. Phil Lewis says UFO works great. Thanks, Chris. It has an arm missing. I thought he might have been pointing directly at the camera. I couldn't quite tell. An F-14. Yeah, got it right. And Tom agrees with F-14. Did I say 14 or 11? I don't remember. I say these things, but there's no filter. It just goes straight out. Right. Ross has obviously been to the Citadel shop. He's got himself a painting mat thing, a paint holding pot. You put 3 paints in there. One of the little Space Marine type things. Citadel paint pot like the one I've got over there. Getting started with 440k. Helldrake, that's nice. Dave Barker's built one of them. Why's the run gone Barker? Or butcher that model he uses now. That's done one of those. Looks really good. And Dreadblade, I was going to say Haribos then, but it's not. It's Harrows. He likes his ghosty wraithy things as well. So yes, Dave's got some nice pictures of those in the Boom Hut and elsewhere, I'm sure. There we go. It's a little, almost like a super deformed Space Marine. That's interesting. I haven't seen them. Tool filth, says Jason. I'm not sure why. It's like advice. Oh, this was discussion on the eModels channel about tools, mold grips, and monkey grips and things. Yes, some sort of vice grip, and the one with the it's Ted and Colin are the ones you want to show them to, not me. They're used for gripping things and twisting them. I don't know any more than that. Andy in Bolton. It says that's what it says here, but yes, it's another plane. It's got wings and it's American. That's as far as my knowledge of those things go. I can't quite make out the name there, but it's flown by a major. Yep. Oh, that's a bit different. Hang about. It's not the same plane, is it? No, it's a different plane because it's got different wings. Nice, the tiger camo. Great mold grip, says Spruce Glue. I like that picture. That's a good picture. I like that. If you manage to get the angle just right, it looks huge and real. If you had it outside with actual background behind it as well, that'd look really good. George has been playing with his painting, trying to paint as many minis as Paul. They've been having a little competition to see how many minis they can get painted each. So he's been catching up because Paul was well in front. I've been playing with the metallics and yeah, lots of variations, and it looks properly old and worn and used and leaking. Lovely stuff. Scott, Israeli M51 Super Sherman. Scott likes his Israeli stuff, so yeah. It's got to be an officer because he's pointing. We all know that. Nice. And that was the last picture of this week. So there we go. I shall stop sharing. I shall drag that back out the way over there. I'll click a button so it's just me on the screen. Woohoo! F15 for a brief look, says Tom. I wouldn't know. I couldn't tell you. Right, well, I've been through there. Nobody from the group have come along to join me. So what I shall do is post a link in the comments there to come and join me. If you'd like to pop in, get yourself a camera, microphone sort of set up. Click that link. You have to sort of sign in to validate yourself and things like that. But you can come along and join me. It's next week is actually the evening with everyone week, but as nobody else has come along, and as I'm bored of sitting here talking to myself, feel free, come along, say hello. If you've got anything to talk about, bring something to talk about with you, and we'll see what's what. Lord Barkley's about. It says officers always point. What's that way? What's that? Why are we going over here? What's over there? What's that? Yeah, officers always point models. So yes, that was the link. I'll put it there. I won't post it anywhere else. I'll just put it in the chat. So there we go. We have someone joining us. It says Gopher down there, but I'm pretty sure it is indeed. Good day. Welcome.
Good idea.
Your camera's on strange. It's, I don't know. It looks like a 20-year-old camera or something. It's not very many colours and a bit glitchy, but it's fine for this.
Not much I can do about that.
Hello and welcome. I've already done the pictures of what you've been working on in the group. So, but anything else you want to?
Yeah, I'm a bit further forward on it now.
This was Shouty Space Horse. What I'm hanging about. I shall make it all about you. There we go. Yes, I was saying I like the sort of scroll work and the detail work you put onto those.
Yeah, I've not finished it. I've got the other side to do on him yet. So, but yeah, it's coming together slowly. It's probably the longest I've spent on it, on a figure for a while.
No problem. Looking good.
Yeah.
Steve says, not built anything worth pictures this week, just lots of little sub-assemblies that mean nothing yet. They mean something in your own mind, I'm sure they do. You're not... You say it means nothing, but yeah.
Picked up today.
That was the Hell Drive. Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah, looking forward to building that next.
That looks interesting. I've got far too much sitting in the backlog to do any more shopping, but yeah. That is one that I've liked the look of.
Yeah, just as I said, I don't build them to play them. I just build them because I enjoy the look of them. And that's it. So,
have you ever thought about playing or?
Not really. I think my little lad, he's starting to show a bit of interest in it because he's now starting to want to build some figurines himself, where he's actually doing a few little orcs and
Hang
stuff.
about. I'll put you back on the big camera again.
He's having fun painting his little orcs.
Oh right, yep.
So
Yes, I think we saw them last week.
He's having fun doing them, and I've got a backlog of Age of Sigma figurines to finish painting.
Cool.
So about 30 so far. Backlog.
Yeah. It's easy to get stuff built up in a backlog, isn't it?
Yeah, too easy, really. I mean, I've also just had this one arrive today as well.
Cool. All right. Some sort of, not griffin, but
Yeah, it's a griffin.
it is griffin.
Yeah, it's a dark elf. Basically, that one.
Cool.
So that's in the queue.
As that's a flying thing, is that going to be stuck to your ceiling at some point?
No, that one's just going to stand on that little stand there. Actually, going to end up on that when I weather it in, and
Oh right, okay.
it'll go on that little block.
Cool.
And everything. So build some sort of rock scenery underneath it, where it's flying down or whatever.
Tom says he likes
fun.
the Altered Cardin show. Yeah, I watched the episode, couldn't really get into it. Jamie says, if anyone wants to watch something on TV, there's a programme about the sarcophagus built around Chernobyl at 9 PM, which is in quarter of an hour, on BBC 4. Yeah, you've been doing the Chernobyl model thing, haven't you, Jamie? Was that you did that? I can't remember. But yeah. Is that glue? Are you gluing bits?
Yeah, well, trying to. It's the last piece of his reins.
Right, yep.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of the rain.
Right, yep.
I've now got to try and get into place without.
Absolutely. We'll just watch quietly. We won't.
It's fine.
It never goes well, especially not when hundreds of people are watching you live. Well, say hundreds, 34 apparently, but yes, we've done TV stuff and everything. We did some food, but if you want to talk to me about what you've been eating, then by all means put a message in the chat there. Jamie does say, I am building the Chernobyl ICM 135th set, painting the radiation detection hut at the moment. At this very moment, he's painting a radiation detection hut. So yeah, I thought you were talking about that on the Monday E-Models show. So yeah, that's good. Don't forget, of course, that there is a prize up for grabs on the E-Models YouTube channel. On last Monday just gone, a few days ago, we gave away a thing. It was that funny looking tank, I think. Go and watch the video. Right at the end, we gave away a thing. You've just got to leave a comment on the video, but you'll be in with a chance of winning.
Yeah, it's the M3 Lee, I think, if you remember rightly.
I don't remember at all, but I knew it was a funny looking tank. It had like the turret on the turret didn't turn, and the big gun was on the bottom that wouldn't turn or something.
Yeah, on those lines.
Yeah, so that's there. Go and comment on that for the chance to win. On my channel, of course, as I'm closely approaching 3,000 subscribers, so I'm giving away a wallet. An empty wallet, I must admit. It's not got money in it, but it has got Gross Models printed on the side of it. All you have to do is find the 3,000 subscriber giveaway video, which is a few videos back. Leave a comment on the bottom of that saying when you think I will be achieving the milestone of 3,000 subscribers. Leave a time and a date, and whoever gets closest basically wins themselves a free wallet. So M3 Lee, says Jamie. That must be the name of the tank thing. Yeah. So yes, chances to win stuff. The competition for my channel, the 3,000 subscribers, hasn't got an actual closing date. It basically will close when I get to 2,900 subscribers, just to stop people jumping in at the last minute and winning. So the sooner you get in and put in a date, the more chance you've got. Well, the same chance you've got of winning, but more chance you've got of getting a date that is unique to you. Because if two people put the same date, I'll only go with the first one. You can't share the wallet. That would be strange having to share a wallet with somebody. So no. Find that video. Go and put a comment on the bottom of that as to the date that you think I will make that milestone. I can use words as well. It's great. Quanoman says, when you say 34 watching, I get tempted to shut one eye just to see if it will change the number to 33 and a half. It does. It's actually gone down to 33. Did you close both eyes by mistake? Because that would have done it. No, the viewing figures go up and down and throughout. I'm just amazed that more than 2 people are watching, and I haven't paid either of them. So if you do enjoy watching what I stream, then let me know. Send me a message and stuff. I have another visitor. We have a wild Speedy Q8 has appeared. He seems to be throwing his phone sideways, round, down, and round, and juggling with it.
I'm trying to kind of set this up in such a way that it sort of works. I'm in the kitchen, not in where.
Okay. I think if I remove myself from the stream, I don't get put down the bottom. I think I'll get put back up the top there. But I'm just going to try it.
Well, you're up at the top on mine.
It's up on the top of mine.
Yeah, it puts me in the top left-hand corner. That's where I go. If I take one of you out, then you'll shift around places. But no, I always leave in the top corner.
Say hello, along with my boiler.
Oh, hang about! I shall make you a big screen. This was the coffee machine that was all grimy and grossy last week.
Yes, it's in bits, but it's slowly going back together. I've been fighting with this. This is the group head. This is the bit where you put the little, what they call a portafilter with a handle. When you go into Starbucks and press the thing.
I'm aware of the things. I don't know anything about or use them, but yeah.
That's called the group head. And I've been fighting with this. Well, first of all, I dropped it and bent one of the bolt holes, which I was knocked about. So I've had to dig out my tap and die set and sort of managed to re-tap that, thankfully, because it's brass that's plated. Which they use because it holds heat. And secondly, I've been fighting with this bit at the bottom, which is this is what they call the dispersion plate. And over that goes a shower plate, which is where your water comes out through your coffee.
Right.
And this bit has obviously never ever been removed ever in its entire life. It screws on. And the only way to remove it, you've got these holes around the middle of where the water comes out, and then these 2 bigger looking holes at the side are to stick a wrench of some sort in to actually unscrew it. And what I've ended up having to do with that is use a heat gun.
Really?
And a combination of pliers and a big spanner and an angle grinder wrench and all kind of.
Well, we always know you're a big spanner.
Yeah, well, true. And I've had to swear at it and all that kind of manly stuff you do when you're wielding tools. And eventually it did give in, but oh my God, did it put up a fight. The machine's like, it's Mark 2011, which is not that old in the grand scheme of things. But when you consider it's a commercial machine, so it spent its life in cafes. And I know it's been in 2 places up here, and I suspect it was second-hand in the cafe down the road, which was the first place I knew of, because there's some scale inside the boiler, and all the water up here is soft water, so we don't get lime scale. But there's been a little bit of scale build-up inside the boiler and group head and stuff, which is why I needed to take all the part to clean it. So it's been somewhere prior to that. Then it was in a local cafe down the road for years and years and years. And then it was in a little kind of greasy spoon cabin, coffee cabin thing. And when it died and they couldn't be bothered to get it repaired, I think they actually went and got one of these machines on lease. I don't think they actually bought one, but I might be wrong. Because they're quite expensive new. And it sat in a shed for about 6 months before I bought it. And I don't think it's ever actually had any sympathetic treatment in all of those 9 years that it's existed, that it's actually worked. So it's getting a thorough strip down and a thorough talking to, and hopefully we're back on track now. So I was really knocked about that. Dropped it onto my kitchen floor, and the kitchen floor's got lino, which obviously is not very absorbent.
No.
Unfortunately, under the lino is concrete, which is even less absorbent than lino.
Not designed to be dropped on.
Yeah, it's weird because the rest of the house is floorboards. It's absolutely bizarre. Apart from the conservatory, which was an add-on, which fair enough, if you build that. But yes, bizarrely, all the downstairs rooms are floorboards, apart from the kitchen, which is concrete. I mean, what's that all about?
Well, I suppose kitchen, you're likely to get the floors wet, so floorboards.
But why not? Why wouldn't all of it be concrete? I don't know.
I'm not a building engineer. I know nothing.
It's bizarre because when we moved in here, I actually took up all the kitchen floor because it had laminate on, which was ruined. So I lifted all that up, and then it had like bits of carpet all over one end because one end of the floor slopes down a little bit where the fridge goes. So it's always on a slight incline. And the fridge leans back ever so slightly. So that had bits of carpet packing that up. I took all those out, and then it had a load of old vinyl floor tiles, which I had to heat up and scrape up off the floor to get them removed. And like I say, it's concrete underneath, which really surprised me. I expected it to be floorboards, but there you go.
Who knows?
Yes, I'm in the kitchen descaling, and citric acid solution stings. I've got scraped knuckles and cuts and things from doing this espresso machine and unbolting stuff that's really tight. And when you stick your hand in and forget to pick a part out, it's like,
I wouldn't know. Yeah, Fox is in and out apparently. He's intermittently
Fox.
here. To which cynical Steve says, "Well, Fox, kill it with fire." No, don't.
Ooh, Fox! I've got a picture somewhere on my phone, which is a perfect avatar for you. I will send that in the group chat thing to you at some point when you get a chance.
Absolutely, yep.
It's good.
Everyone's saying hello to Fox. Tom says he's never known concrete to be bouncy. So don't drop things on concrete.
No. What we need is that playground stuff. Have any of you got one of those playgrounds near you with like?
You could go and find some in a playground.
That's
Tom
amazing.
does suggest that it's an addition to the house. Is your kitchen?
No, because the kitchen.
Built on
the kitchen is part of the original house because all this house there's a row of 6 on this terrace. This house was the first one that was bought privately. And then the council, about 2 years after this was first bought, the council upgraded all the other houses. They extended the kitchens, and they made they made an upstairs bathroom because the bathroom in mine is downstairs, and the upstairs is just a WC, or a bog as we call them. So this kitchen was original. And that wall there would have been the back of the house originally, but there's a conservatory beyond that. So the other possibility is when not the previous owners who we bought from, but the ones before them who put the conservatory in, when they put the conservatory in, it's possible that they actually had it just concreted right the way through kitchen and conservatory, which hadn't occurred to me before. But now you mentioned that, it might be an addition.
Possibly,
it's possible that they had it concreted along with the conservatory when they had that done. There's every possibility that maybe it did have floorboards and they weren't very good.
Spring Blue says it might be fire prevention. They put concrete down to
possibly.
Again, maybe because it's kitchen hot things as well as wet
things.
It's
got me wondering now. I'm gonna go and ask my neighbour next door, because they've been here right through all the renovations and everything when they modernised them.
Oh, right.
But I'm going to ask him if their kitchen floor is concrete.
Well, don't ask. Just break in and peel up their floorboards and see what's underneath. It's fine.
Yeah, I do actually kind of like him, and he's done me a few favours. I don't want to upset him too much.
Well, when you say neighbour, they're like 4 miles away or something, aren't they? They're not.
No, not quite. No. No, they're
Ray's in, so hi Ray.
Just the other side of the internet cow on the treadmill. So it's about half a mile away, maybe.
Not exactly what I'd call neighbour, but yeah.
No, these are actually just literally hop over the wall, and they're a nice lot. They are. But yeah, I'm curious now. I'm curious to see what the others are, because the house I had back down in Sheffield had floorboards in the kitchen. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. Tom says most of the houses I've lived in have crawl spaces under the house, so no concrete anywhere except to hold supports. That's not something
exactly.
we have over here.
Exactly. Well, the one I had back down south, I could. It had a little hatch cut into the hallway floor from when the plumber fitted the central heating.
Right.
Because when it was originally my parents' house, and it was a good old sort of council house which had a gas fire in the living room, and that was it. That was your heating. And when the plumber fitted all the central heating,
see you, Jamie. Enjoy your TV.
See you, Jamie. Yeah, when the plumber fitted all the central heating, he cut a little hatch in the hallway, so he could get in, and that was probably about 2.5 foot. You could literally get in on your back and sort of do a bit of a John McClane under the house, and crawl around. And he did that so he could sort all the pipe work, all the copper pipes underneath the floorboards for the central heat.
I mean, we don't have basements and things like that in there, but there must be something. I mean, foundations, but there must be some room under there. And I've always wondered how.
But like I said, that one you could crawl under the entire thing of the house.
Yeah.
This one, I happened to notice when I was having central heating fitted here, because this still had the old original storage heaters from the movie. And we were having central heating fitted here, and it took up a few of the floorboards. This one actually, the land slopes, so the floor's kind of like there, and up at this end of the house where the bathroom and everything is, there's about that much room underneath. And then at the other end of the house, there's about that much room underneath. So it's very, very little room under the floorboards. When they had bits of floorboard up to do the pipe work, you couldn't actually crawl under there, unless you were very, 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 very small.
I've always wanted a basement. I think a basement would be very useful, but it's not the sort of thing that we often have.
Cellars rock. I've had relatives and friends with cellars. My ex was renting a house with a cellar. It was amazing. Two big, massive rooms.
Yeah.
But I used to, both me and the cat used to get shouted at if we went down there, because it was all kind of like covered in coal dust, and she had a cream carpet in the little room where the door for the cellar was. So every now and again we'd go through, and there'd be like cat paw prints all on this cream carpet where the cat had gone investigating in the cellar. And I had to go down there once or twice to reset the electric breakers, so they were all down there.
Oh, right, yeah.
But the rooms were great. There were two massive rooms. You could have had like a cinema room and a workshop. It's superb.
Lord Barkley says you could have weird people living under your house using the trapdoor.
Better still, you could be weird people living under somebody's house.
You could be living under somebody else's house. Yeah.
Yeah. I read a story some years back. It was my mother-in-law lent me this book, because it was based in Sheffield, which is where I'm from originally, and it was a detective mystery story thing. And the murderer, the person who was stalking and killing these people, was living in a sealed off attic space of a house that they were renting. So they'd got this house which they were renting, but unbeknownst to the people renting the place, they'd sealed off access to the attic space, which had been converted into living space, and they were living in this attic space above them, which was a bit.
Apparently, Clifford Stoll, who wrote The Cuckoo's Egg, built himself a little remote control forklift for storing and retrieving boxes from the crawl space under his home. Videos on YouTube.
That sounds cool. You need to share that to the group so we can all have a look.
That'd be great, wouldn't it? Lord Barkley says it's me under the people's stairs.
Under the stairs. That's a good movie.
Cellar Dwellers. That's got to be a film, isn't it? Cellar Dwellers. Speaking
of movies, I dug out Existenz again last night and watched that, because after watching your
they featured it in one of the Terminator magazines.
Yeah, and it's still a brilliant film.
I can't find it. I had it on DVD, and I spent ages looking through all my shelves of DVDs and stuff. I just can't find it. and it's not
Yeah.
available even to purchase from Amazon Prime.
Really?
It's listed on Amazon Prime, and you can click on it, and it says due to something or other, it's not currently available for purchase, so
It's a
you can't watch
conspiracy.
it.
It's conspiracy. So it must be. But it's a great film. It's still a great film.
I
Very, very
don't
good.
remember much of it. I remember like the organic gun, and it's something to do with video games or something. And
Yeah, it's a video game. Well, it starts off with this video game, and it's like an actual living creature, this like fleshy, weird odd thing, and they they have a little hole in the spinal cord at the base.
yeah,
And it plugs in via a cord that looks like an umbilical cord.
yeah, it was
Uh,
sort of. I think it was
it's-
released just after the Matrix, and it was sort of a similar sort of idea in
Was
that
it
you
after
plug yourself
that?
in and.
I thought it came before the Matrix, but it's a little bit David Cronenberg in parts, because he liked his weird kind of anamorphic sort of fleshy weirdness. So it's a little bit. I wonder if it is David Cronenberg. Do you know? I didn't even notice. I'll have to have a look. But it's definitely a bit David Cronenberg in parts.
I don't remember.
But the story's great. It's a fantastic story. It's one of those films that's really underrated. I do. Yes.
Beyond Hope's popped in while the glue dries on Warhammer Conquest Mahusive Tank. And Steve's on his way out. He's got his go for his tea now. So see you later. Thanks for popping in, Steve.
Well,
See you later.
just a quick one to Beyond Hope. I don't know if you saw yesterday, but Chris Nerys did a stream on the new not Elegoo, damn it, whatever oh crikey, it's a new resin printer, kind of similar sort of size to the Photon, but
Right,
2 second layer times. Absolutely unbelievable. I mean, with a Photon, you're typically talking between 10 and 15 seconds per layer for the actual UV light to burn to set the thing. This thing, 2 second layer times. Absolutely incredible. And at thicker layers than you typically do with the Photon at that as well. So, yeah, amazing.
That sounds interesting. Beyond Hope says
Frozen Mini.
Frozen Mini.
Yeah. Yeah, it looked really impressive. I've got to admit, I was quite impressed with it. I mean, the construction-wise, it looks a bit cheap because it's got one of those lift-off red lids rather than like the Photon. I like because it's a solid metal box with a lift-up front. So construction-wise, it looks a bit cheap, but yeah, 2 second layer times, absolutely incredible.
Steve says it's a Cronenberg film. In
That's why it's a bit David Cronenberg. Yeah, that would explain it. But it is a great film.
Tom says he'll eventually have to invest in a 3D printer.
If you're wanting one for minis or figures and things to paint, then you definitely want resin. Up to now, I would have said absolutely go for the Photon because they're really good. But having seen that Frozen Mini yesterday, I would say if there's not much of a price difference, then go for that. The added bonus of that one as well is not only has it got faster burn times, because it's a balancing act between the screen life and the brightness of the LED, because the heat kills screens, and the screens are essentially like a digital camera screen, an LCD screen.
All right.
And that's what masks the shade for the light to shine through, so it blocks some of the light, allows some, and sets the layer. With a color LCD, they're only rated for a certain lifespan. They will burn out. They're a consumable, and you have to replace them. And they're not massively expensive. You're talking like 20 or 30 quid for an LCD screen. But with this new Frozen Mini, it uses a black and white LCD screen, which apparently are not particularly common because obviously everything's got color LCD screens. And the lifespan of that screen is something like 6 times as long as a color one. So it obviously allows a stronger light and can take more heat before that screen is ruined. So provided replacement screens are going to become available at not 6 times the cost, then even if they say twice as much as a Photon one, then if you're replacing it, if you've replaced your photon one 6 times in the space that you'll replace your frozen mini once, then you've made a saving. So at the moment, with it being brand new, spares, I haven't really been sort of flung around a bit, but I've got to admit, I like the look of it. If I didn't have the photon and I was looking for a resin printer, I'd be going for one.
Beyond Hope says, doesn't the Frozen have a standard screen while the Photon has an HD screen?
Not that I'm aware of. Not that I'm aware of. The only difference, as far as I know, is it's a black and white LCD rather than a colour LCD array. As far as I know, anyway, and certainly the stuff that he was printing out. Yeah, Videodrome was another Cronenberg one. Yeah, the stuff that he was printing out, quality-wise, looked really, really good. No obvious sort of stepping and that kind of thing. So not that I know. I mean, I've not done a lot of study into it. I literally just caught it yesterday. I just happened to be in the middle of making dinner. It's like, oh look, there's a new stream, and it's new resin printer. I'll have a look at that. But no, I mean, I love the Photon, and I've got to be honest, it doesn't make a massive difference to me because I'm not churning out stuff like one after the other after do it. Like some printers, the printers are never off. It's just going 24/7 and non-stop. As soon as one print finishes, they take it off the bed and they start another one. For me, it's every now and again I'll think, oh, that's cool, I'll print that. And I can just start it printing, and provided it's going okay, I'll just walk away and leave it and let it do its thing. So it's not such a problem for me regarding the Photon in that respect. But if you're into printing minis or figures and you want to churn them out, you know, if you want to start getting a lot of them, yeah, it's monochrome. Yeah, if you want to do that, then obviously your 2-second layer time is going to make a big difference. You've still got your travel time, which is going to be the same, which is about 7 seconds, I think, which is where the bed raises to peel off the FEP and goes back down. So you're not actually cutting the time down exactly in half or anything, but it's the difference between 7 seconds up and down and then 12 seconds on. 7 seconds up and down, 12 seconds on. Instead of that, it's 7 seconds up and down, 2 seconds on. 7 seconds.
Yeah, so it's quicker, but not.
It's still
that
a
much
lot
quicker,
quicker,
but yeah.
a lot quicker. Yeah. And he was printing stuff yesterday at 0.2 layer heights at something like a 3-second burn time. Now 0.3 layer heights, you're talking 0.2 layer heights is like your standard FDM. Your standard for your Photon is 0.05. The new one can do these smaller layers, but if you're going for detail, you want 0.05 or lower. Obviously, the thinner the layers, the more detail you can get. But if you're printing something and you just want it to print quickly, you can crank it up to 0.1 or 0.2 layer height. But that to do a 0.1 or 0.2 layer height on the Photon, you'd be looking at probably 20 seconds per layer, you know, for it to burn through, set that resin. So, you know, 2 or 3 seconds versus 20. I mean, that's mad. You know, some thinner layers you'd probably be able to do in a.
There was something I saw about a new technology that did it sort of all at once, sort of thing. But obviously, it's multiple laser sources or whatever. However,
is that the one that's like in the weird gel, suspended in gel thing?
It's something like that. Yeah, I couldn't.
I
only saw a couple of pictures.
But yeah, it was a thing floating around Facebook with not a great deal of information. It was kind of like suspended in gel, and it fired everything from all.
And it's always going to get quicker and better and faster and cheaper.
It is, and you know, and things are going to improve. I mean, when all's said and done, if you look at, I mean, FDM are still going to improve yet, because if you look at the FDMs that we've got, they're good for what they are, but like any sort of mass manufactured Chinese built cheap stuff, they are not machine to precise tolerances.
No.
It's like the kind of printers that someone like Shapeways uses. You're talking thousands of quid's worth of printer, proper SLAs that use lasers to, you know, track an exact shape and all that kind of business. Whereas the Photon and the Ender 3 and your and all that kind of thing, they're assembled with a that's close enough kind of eye. You know, that's roughly square. That'll do. So, you know,
2-second QSPs instead of 14 seconds are to my standard. Getting 0.05mm layers with 14 seconds. If
no,
0.02 will be faster, this will be massive improvement.
0.2 that he was printing at, not 0.02. 0.2. So your 14 seconds with Anycubic Grey at 0.05, he could probably be doing on that machine. He could have probably done in 1.5 seconds, because he was printing 0.2 layers at 3 seconds, I think. So that's 3 times the thickness of 0.5. Just as a point of note, I noticed you've said Anycubic Grey there. I actually found that I got really soft details with Anycubic Grey. It could just be my machine, but I don't know if that's the same for you. But maybe my favourite one is Anycubic Skin. I think the detail that gives is fantastic. The Michael J. Fox print that I did and painted for my son, which is on my channel, I did that in Anycubic Skin, and the detail on that is just absolutely amazing. So far I've found that one gives the best detail overall, but the grey I sort of found a bit soft. But I've not tried that many. I've only tried the green that it came with, Anycubic Grey, Anycubic Skin, and I've got some Anycubic Black, but not tried it yet.
Sorry,
anyway,
Chris, you like our 3D printing. I had a 3D printer before SPID, but we won't worry about that.
This was the first one. It was Chris that got me interested.
I just don't understand it. But yeah, it's sitting over there and it gets used occasionally. But yeah, it doesn't run.
It was actually Chris that got me interested when he first got his and started doing little bits about it.
So I can't get away
and
from
then
it.
when I
It's
saw
fine.
reviews about the Ender 3, that's when I seriously started thinking about it. Because I asked Chris initially, before I bought mine, I asked Chris for his ideas and some pointers and stuff. But yeah, he's the original 3D printed man. Well, not literally.
Yeah, I mean, people were doing it before me, but yeah. Tom's saying that you can 3D print titanium. And Beyond Hope says you can do carbon fiber as well. I think in theory you can print almost anything, but whether it's going to be...
I think it's BMW have actually 3D printed an entire motorbike frame.
Oh, there you go. Beyond Hope was even before me, apparently. I don't remember, but yeah.
I didn't realise that. Apologies. Well, there you go. You were before Chris, and Chris was before me. There you go. I thought it was Chris was the first one I kind of knew who had one. It's maybe, I don't know if I'd actually spoken to you prior to that, because it was, in fact, no, we started talking because you happened to say hi in one of Neresa's streams once, because you recognised me from the E-model stream.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we got chatting about 3D printing stuff. But yeah, I mean, what we can do now is incredible. I mean, there are actually some Seiko used some watch parts that are 3D printed.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
It's more of a sintering process, but it's basically to put smaller parts lighter than they could machine them or stamp them out or metal or whatever. But yeah, it's I'm sure it was BMW that did an entire motorbike frame, 3D printed motorbike frame. Mad, absolutely mad. It's clever stuff though. Really
absolutely, yeah.
Have you seen
the one from another group? He actually did a 3D print of a 5-foot Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that is big. He's got it as a shop display piece.
Wow. There are some people on the groups who've actually built massive printers. They've literally built an entire huge big frame with a bed like 4 times the size of your average cooker in your kitchen. So to print huge objects, it's incredible the stuff they can do. But have you seen the machine that prints its own bridge as it goes along? I think it's on a BBC News article.
Yeah. Well, there's the thing about there's one that 3D prints in concrete, and they're building houses out of it.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. I mean, it's really, I think it's really sparked a lot of creativity. This just far beyond printing a little toy in plastic to play with. it sparked a massive amount of creativity. This whole thing.
I still want them to be instant though. That's what I'm waiting for the Star Trek replicators. Just to,
I just
want
want one that prints in colour. Like that print that Fox has got of himself. I want one of those. And they actually, I don't know how it does it, but it's in a powder. It's like a form of sintering, but it's some kind of powder.
Just,
but I don't
just
know
paint
how
it yourself. You know how to paint things. Just print one in one colour and paint it.
It's just so cool. But can you imagine just banging out figures? Because I'm crap at painting. Well, I'm not the worst at painting figures, but I'm so far from good.
Practice more, and then you get better.
But that's the thing. I've not got the patience where I can pick an airbrush a car or a motorbike kit or something that looks really nice.
Get a few of these in and practice on these.
Yeah, there you go. Paint like that.
Paint a few of these. That'll get you.
See, this is it, and because there's that many people who are into minis now and do some amazing paint jobs like that one.
That one's now finished. It's got weathering to do on it now.
It's kind of like I look at my attempts and I'm a bit. But yeah, these color printers, I love them, but they're stupid amounts of money.
Beyond Hope says there's been some YouTube videos in the last week about multicolour prints.
I bet is that the FDM sort of just using different filaments, because they're interesting, but
it's not quite the same. You almost want a normal 2D printer and a 3D printer combined, so it's sort of 2D print a picture on top of the face of the face. I don't know. There must be a way of doing it.
I saw. I didn't actually read anything about it, but on one of I think it was on Weathered Models Group or something like, and it was a picture that was supposed to be a 1/6 scale soldier.
Yeah, I've seen similar things.
And I looked at it, and somebody had said, because it looked literally just like a photo or a capture from a really high-res computer game scan or something like that. All the detail on the skin and the stubble and all that kind of thing. And it was amazing. And somebody said, "Oh, that's a 3D print," and my immediate response, of course, was like, no. And I'm still not convinced. I didn't actually see. There was no link to an actual article to explain the whys and wherefores, but they reckoned, whoever had posted it reckoned it was a 3D print, and it used some kind of printed overlay image.
All right.
For the face, which is why the detail was so good, but it just looked too good.
Yeah,
I mean, if a master model has painted this, then you could go, yeah, I can understand that, because I've seen some figures and busts that have been painted that are out of this world accurate and scary realistic. But for a 3D print, I just don't know.
Well, Sprue Glue's turned up, better late than never, and so that means it's pretty much time to finish it. Yeah. Tom's been talking about laser cutters, and laser cutter engraver could do colour rather than grayscale. Yeah, it'll be the next step, won't it? It'll be the next thing to do.
I don't know anything about laser cutters. I mean, I kind of know what they do, but is it as simple as using a file like similar to an STL, and it just?
I assume so. Yeah, it just does the same thing, but just by cutting rather than laying down ink paper.
Speaking of laser cutters, I went into the shed earlier to go and find my tap and die set, which I'd not seen in ages, which was buried in a box somewhere. Found a few bits, and I found this. It's an old Spirit level. But it's got. Hang on, I might blind everybody now. Where's my camera?
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, we can vaguely see it, and then it will write it out and make everything go funny.
Got everyone going, my eyes! Yeah, how cool is that? But anyway, I found a few tools, and I was like, I've forgotten all about that. So I thought I'll bring that in, because I can use that, because I've lost my other Spirit level somewhere. Brought it in, got back in the house, and then realised I'd actually forgot my tap and die set, so I had to go back out, back through the shed to find that. But yeah, little laser pointer on the Spirit level. So cool. I'm easily pleased. What can I say?
I had a laser Spirit level that didn't do a point; it did a line.
Well, this does as well, but it's got a little slidey thing.
Because you just set that up and then it shows the line, and then you can sort of drill along the line to.
We'll switch it on. You can see. Let's get a point. There you go. You can
see
the
a little
dot
bit of something, but
Yeah.
you see the dot on the coffee machine there. And then if I slide this little window down in front of it,
don't look down it.
and it becomes.
There we go. Yeah, that's the sort of thing it does. Yeah.
Becomes a line, and then you can actually turn that little window, and it'll be an upright line as well, which is kind of cool. Very clever. But
Right.
I can gaffer tape it to a toy gun and pretend to be like Arnie or something. Yeah. Because I'm mature like that. I am.
Yep. You've blinded Sprue Glue, so
Oh, sorry.
just turned up, and now he can't see. So yeah. Like Star Wars, he says. Right, it's time to end it now. So while you can still see, I shall remove my guests. So thank you, Spid. Thank you for coming in.
No
I'll
problem
see you
at
again
all.
next time or another time. Good luck with your descaling and stuff and
I'm
progressing.
going to get back to it now.
All right. Bye-bye. And indeed, the gopher is here as well. I shall leave you to carry on painting and doing things. Thanks for coming in.
Just weathering now, so just weathering it up now, so it's nearly finished.
Lovely. I
Last
expect to
bits
see
of-
pictures of it soon then.
All right.
All right. Thank you
All right.
and good night.
Yeah.
And me, I'm the last one here as ever. First one in, last one out. As I did mention, next Thursday is an evening with everyone. So you've got a week to progress and get your script ready and get your cameras and lights and everything set up properly. I shall be, as ever, starting off at 8 o'clock and putting the link to go live on various different media sources at about 5 past. Almost certainly exactly 5 past. So come along and join me next week. You can get your own, moment of fame. Not really fame, but, your own moment. Between now and then, we do, of course, have Warhamster Sunday at 8 p.m. on Sunday, because that's when Warhamster Sunday is. I shall be doing some more of these teeny tiny planes. Last little bit of painting on them, and then decals, and then onto weathering, but probably not all next week. And then Monday is the Immortals. You can win the tank thing. Find it, put a comment in, and that. And then back here again on Thursday. So thank you all for watching. Lord Barkley says, I'll get a new dress. You can indeed, yeah. It's always worth dressing up for it. Night all says everybody. Everyone's come in and been going. And Sprugaloo says, good night, Gemma, a picture of a spider. I don't know that she's watching tonight. She hasn't put any messages in. So everyone's saying good night. So I shall follow along and say good night. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for joining me. And I shall see you on Sunday for the next thing that I'm going to be doing. So yeah, thank you and good night.